This game is one of the worst pieces of shit I ever played in my life. It's almost identical to the NES version, yet it somehow manages to be awful in its own ways. So anyway, let's get into it. Predator for the MSX2. Graphics-wise, this game looks a lot like its NES counterpart. Same bland-looking jungles, same stupid-looking creatures. The only real difference in the graphics is Dutch himself. He's not dressed in pink! Holy shit! He actually looks more like an army guy! Too bad it's only one of the improvements over the other game. The graphics, however, will seem like a blessing when compared to the controls. You use the left Alt button and the left and right directional buttons to select weapons. And while I'm on the subject of weapons, there are some key differences between this game and the NES version. Unlike the other game, you start out with Dutch's assault rifle, grenades, and mines. Whereas in the other game, you can only have one weapon at a time. The second point is that unlike the NES game, all your weapons have limited ammo, so you have to get more by killing enemies. Back to the controls, the worst part is the control pad's sensitivity. Move a tiny bit in any direction and Dutch slides that way. Plus if you press down and forward, Dutch will do some kind of odd knee slide across the screen. And good luck doing any precision jumping. The platforms are as small as gnat turds. And the controls are so loose that it's nearly a given that you're going to slide off one of them. There's yet another issue about jumping. If you jump to a higher screen, the game will cut to black. Then when the next screen appears, you could be facing anything. An enemy can ambush you, or you can miss a platform and fall back down and have the screen cut to black again. This makes jumping a fucking nightmare because you can never see what you're heading into. Could they make this game any less playable if they tried? I'm about to answer my own rhetorical question. Yes, they fucking can! The gameplay is atrocious! Level 1 is so bad that it's a level from hell. You start out with a map screen that wasn't in the NES game, and you can go back and forth between different levels. Your mission in the first level is to head right and face the Predator, which sounds a lot easier than it actually is. As soon as you start out, scorpions appear out of nowhere and attack you. What? That's not all. A scorpion can actually kill you in the first part of the level. What fucking drugs were they smoking? So let me get this straight. A scorpion is more powerful than the Predator! And people bitch about midgets in the Total Recall NES game? Worse still is the water in this level. Fall in it at any point, and you get sucked all the way back to the beginning of the level! And there is nothing you can do about it. You just have to wait till you get to the first screen and then head right again. You know something? I really wish I were a Predator. Because then I could rip the fucking skulls out of the game designers' heads! So anyway, after that, you head right again. And of course, the fucking enemies respawn. Plus, if you fall into the river again for any reason, that's right, you guessed it, back to the beginning again. This is so fucking aggravating! Anyway, moving on, in this first part, there are two different paths that you can take. You can take the high road or the low one. On the lower path, there's an entrance. But you can't go through it. Instead, you have to jump right to get to the next level. Way to confuse me. The upper path leads to another hard-as-fuck jungle level, so I just skipped it. Level 2 is yet another fucking nightmare. It looks ugly as shit, and it's full of those weird fucking aliens from the NES game. But it gets even worse. If you fall into the lower part of the level, you can land in these energy fields that sap away your life quicksfill. Then there are these alien statues that can also take away your life very quickly. It's like, don't go to the bottom of this level unless you want to end up dead. The only way to escape is to go back up to a higher screen. But with these fucking statues and these platforms, it's nearly impossible. The easier way is to go back to the first screen, then head up and around. Even that's tough though because of the fucking precision jumping. You can go up and fall back down over and over and over again. It's infuriating! And this one screen here with the floating testicle. Dear Christ! It is nearly impossible to get across without taking any damage. And if you fall back down to the lower level with the energy fields and the statues... God! Excuse me, I'm gonna go ram my head into the nearest fucking wall. Oh, and let's not forget that butterflies attack you. Yes, butterflies. If anybody out there can tell me what the fuck this has to do with the movie Predator, I'd love to hear the explanation. So when you finally manage to get through this pink alien hell, you end up fighting the Predator. Gee, thanks for putting something from the movie into the game. Now I will give the game 2 points of credit. For one thing, the game does give you a life power-up at the battle. And two, there is a detail I like about the Predator. He starts out invisible except for his eyes, and as you damage him, he becomes more visible. It's a nice touch from the movie. Still, this boss battle is way too easy. His patterns are painfully predictable, and his shots can be easily avoided. So long as you keep dodging and hitting him, it's a cinch to beat him. After he's gone, you can go to the next level. But after 2 levels, I had enough. You only get 6 lives and no continues, while the other game gives you infinite continues. Not that I'd want to use them, but at least the NES game allows for some failures. The only thing you can get in this fucking game are some 1-ups. Combine the terrible controls with the awful jumps and the limited number of lives, and there was no way in hell that I was going to keep on playing this game. And from what I've seen of this piece of shit, it doesn't have a big mode either. If the game has it, I ain't looking for it. The music is pretty much the same as the NES version, so I ain't gonna torture you guys by playing it. My final assessment of this game is simple. Predator for the MSX2 is so fucking awful that I wouldn't play the rest of it if you offered me $10 million tax-free. Just don't even bother with it. It's that bad. So in conclusion, play this game and you will be in a world of hurt. Go watch the first movie instead. It's a much better use of your time. This is Film and Stuff signing off. Thanks for watching. You know something? I really wish I were a Predator. Because then I could rip the fucking skulls out of the game designers' heads!